Hey everyone, Grieving Indonesian here, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'd like to open up about something that's really personal and tough for me, and that is parenting while grieving. How to become a rock for your kids in times of grief, right? So if you've lost a partner and are raising kids, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's one of the hardest things I've had to face, but I want to share with you what my journey has been like for me, right? Hoping that it might help someone else out there who's facing similar situation. So the first thing I've had to come to terms with is that I needed to stay strong. So, and don't get me wrong, being strong doesn't mean that you're not allowed to cry, that you're not allowed to grieve. I mean, believe me, I cry more than I care to admit, even though it's been like 2 years since my wife passed. And just the other day, I heard her favorite song on YouTube, and it hit me like a truck. You know, memories flooded in, and I couldn't hold it in. I just broke down and cried. So yeah, that song, it just reminded me of how much I depended on her for everything, how much she meant to me, how precious she was. But the thing is, I cry in private, right? I try to not let my son see me break down, not because I don't want to show my emotions, but because I think it's important, you know, for my kids to realize that I'm holding it together, right? So balancing my grief and being that pillar of strength for them, honestly, it's one of the hardest things I've had to do. So by all means, give yourself space to grieve, but try to protect your kids' sense of security by setting aside moments for your own emotional release in private. So another thing I've realized is that I have to be the rock for my kids, right? When my wife was still with us, she was my partner in everything. She always knew when I was overwhelmed. She knew just how to lighten the load. I'd come home from a rough day at work and she'd just know, she made me feel like I can handle everything and anything life throws at me. It wasn't even always about what she said sometimes. It was just her presence, her being there, her warmth. She had this way of making me feel like everything was going to be okay, even when I was like drowning in whatever problems I had at the time. But now that she's gone, that weight is mine to carry alone. I can't pass that on to my sons. I can't talk to my sons about work stress or financial stress, even though I'm doing all right financially, it's not the same without her. I miss having someone, to share all this with, but I won't let my sons feel that burden. They don't need to. So I keep it all inside and try to keep things feeling normal for them, for their sake, even though I'm still far from normal. So, bottom line, it's okay to be vulnerable with your kids. Be open with them about your shared grief, but maybe engage them at a level that they can understand, right? So they won't feel burdened. So by far, for me, the toughest challenge is these special occasions, the holidays and the festivities. So we're a Muslim family, right? So we celebrate Eid al-Fitri, we celebrate Ramadan, and these are tough. My wife used to make these times so special. The way she'd prepare the meals, especially during suhoor, which is the pre-dawn meal we take before we fast on Ramadan in Ramadan. So it was something you'd look forward to. Now it feels like there's this emptiness at the table. It's hard for me, but I see it in my kids too. We're sitting there trying to go through the motions, but the energy just isn't the same. There's always this empty space, this void where she should be, and it's like the joy of those moments has been dimmed. So, while no one can cook like their mom did, I've started trying new things, small changes that help us adapt to the new reality, whether it's a, new recipe or doing something different as a family during these celebrations. It's about creating new memories while cherishing the old ones. So, in conclusion, I guess you don't need to feel pressure to recreate the past. The past is the past. Embrace new traditions that can help your kids move forward while still honoring your wife's or your husband's memory. Then there's the practical side of things, like managing my 5-year-old school. My work keeps me from picking him up, and that stinks. You know what makes it harder? I'm the only dad doing the drop offs. I mean, like everyone else has their moms picking them up. And then there's my kid without his mom. So it's, awkward for sure. But what's worse is that it's a constant reminder of what others have and my son is missing, namely his mother. And that's tough for the both of us, for all of us. And honestly, I don't know how to remedy this. So the only thing we can do is to just go through it like we always do. I mean, it's not like we have any other choice, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you're in a similar boat, similar situation, trying to parent while you're grieving, you're not alone. Okay. I mean, it's okay if it feels overwhelming because it is overwhelming. I'm still figuring it out myself one day at a time. There are days where I feel like I'm doing okay, and there are days when I feel like I'm barely hanging on. But we keep moving forward, not because we're strong all the time, but because we don't have much of a choice. So to anyone out there going through something similar, know that it's all right to admit it's hard. It's okay to break down and cry when you need to. Just don't lose hope that one day things might feel a little lighter. It is for me, though it's still, the weight is still, pressing on my chest every day. You learn to carry it differently, right? So, I guess thanks for watching and feel free to share your thoughts or your own experiences in the comments. I mean, we're all in this together, and maybe by sharing, we can help each other keep going. Inshallah, we'll find the strength to get through this one step at a time. Goodbye.